my name is Jessica Rosenbeck, and I would love to share about my experience with the body code because it has truly changed my life. I first heard about it about 2.5 years ago, and at that point in time, I was really struggling. Mentally and emotionally, I was in a very negative space. I felt like I was constantly on a daily basis battling these internal demons and having very negative self-talk with myself and just constantly bringing myself down. I had a lot of anxiety. I was very overwhelmed, very anxious, and I didn't know that I was actually in control of all of that and that I actually could completely transform how I responded to situations and how I looked at life and how I felt in my body and, just responding with so much more positive energy and looking at things with such a calm sense of knowing that this is exactly what is for me and everything that's happening is okay and it's safe. And the energy healing work with the body code that I've done has brought me to a space where I know and believe all of that to be true now. I live in such a place of gratitude and light and goodness, and it's all thanks to what the body code has done for me. When I first heard of it, I was very skeptical. I kind of dismissed it a little bit because it sounded far-fetched and was not something that I was at all familiar with. And I wanted to learn more about it, so I did. And when I looked into it, it still didn't make sense to me, but I wanted to give it a try. I thought, why not? I just want to try it. I just want to see if this can actually work for me. So I did, and I started noticing little things in my day-to-day life just from the sessions that I had. How my body felt, how I felt in my body when certain situations would arise. Anxiety and frustration wouldn't come up quite as often. How I felt responding to situations and that were difficult. It was just from such a different place than I was used to. And it was kind of unexpected. It was very natural for me to begin responding differently, responding from a place of heart and not frustration. And so I started noticing those little tiny transformations, and over time, having experienced the body code for about 2 years now, those little tiny transformations have really added up to make a huge impact on my life. And my heart is so much more open, and I feel that, thanks to the body code. And of course, I'm able to look at life more differently too. At first it was just so linear. It was black and white to me, and now I just see, I see the rhythm of life. I see that we're gonna have ups and downs, and I dealt with the downs in a really bad way, and every time I had an up, I was sure another down was just around the corner. So I'm looking at life as a rhythm, and the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, they're all good. They're all leading us towards what is best for us. And now I'm able to look at life in that way thanks to the body code and what I've focused my sessions on and my mental, emotional responses to situations. I have less overwhelm and anxiety and everything that I was struggling with before. I don't experience it quite as often, but when I do, I know how to handle it. So it has truly transformed my life, and it has transformed who I am. I recently did a session for my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and that was the first time I worked with her in the body code, and she was waking up at night very often, very frequently with night terrors, and she was coming into my room and she was crying, and we were having a lot of issues with sleep, and she was really scared, and every night she would beg me to stay in her room, and she needed all these night lights on and just all of these things that were really making it difficult for bedtime routine, making it difficult for me to get to bed at a decent time, making me a little bit frustrated, feeling like I had to constantly be in there reassuring her that she's fine and she's safe. And it was a little bit draining on my own energy to be doing that. And so to have worked with her on that and to have worked with her through that, we addressed those fears that were coming up and all of the issues that were coming up and waking her up. And now we have almost completely eliminated nighttime wake ups. It took a little bit of time, but we are there. She is doing so much better and doesn't have as much fear. And it's just, the body code has changed me, and now I see it in my daughter, and it's just, I'm just so thankful for the body code and everything that it offers, everything that it has done for us and my family. I just could not be more grateful for the experience and the way that I feel. I'm handling life so much differently now, and I'm able to look at situations so much differently from a lens of positivity rather than the negative lens that I was constantly wearing. And I really have the body code to thank for that. So I encourage everyone that I know to try a session, to get involved with it, because I genuinely believe that if you are open to it, if you open your heart and open your mind, the body code can genuinely transform you and transform your life. So that's all I have.